Good morning, Derek here with the Closet Doctor, and I want to show you a couple of improvements that we made to our Anderson Selexx on just making it a little bit easier to run, a little bit easier to operate, and improving quality. Let me show you what we've done.
Okay guys, this is one that I know and I've known, but I didn't notice. So we've got the Anderson CNC running here, and when it pushes it off, we were having lots of sawdust over there. We got right in here, right in there, there's a down suction, and over here there's an up suction, but we still had a lot. Let me show you what we figured out. So when it pushes off, we found that we can vary the speed that the conveyor pushes off. Watch these shelves here now. As it goes, they pull apart because we have the conveyor now is going faster than the offload, and it separates it. Before we were running slower, and so the CNC was literally pushing the parts down the conveyor, and it would pack. You'd get a pile of sawdust in between here, and it would push and it would pack it in and it wouldn't suck it up. We went from probably 50% extraction on sawdust to almost 100%, and we just turned the speed down, and I'll show you where it's at in here if you've got an Anderson and you want to adjust it. So some of the conveyors have a little dial on there and you can speed it up or slow it down. Mine doesn't have that. It would be great, because the only thing that frustrates me is I gotta slow the offload down. Not a big deal, but so you come over here and you go to your macros, and on the bottom here you go to loading, and here it is. So our feed rate was set at 18,000, and I've played with it. I've got it now at 15,500, so we reduced it about 20%. And so now that's opening up this gap. It's sucking all the sawdust out and reducing the amount of stuff that's coming through here. So, you know, one of those scenarios where slower is faster in this scenario, and that we don't have, you know, we'd have piles of sawdust as we pull stuff off, things were falling off, it would pack up in here, and now it's pulling it out, and the dust extraction is doing its job. So nice simple improvement. Literally just asked a question, they said, hey, it's in there. I poked around and found it, made a couple of changes and tested it over 8 sheets, and I think we're at the best spot that we can be on it with speed and unloading. So that's one of my many improvements today.
Two other things we did. Previously, when we would go to measure a tool, we used Gemba docks, and we had, for us to measure the tool, previously it was 2 pages of stuff that we had to do to measure the tool, mainly because you had to take, when it measures the tool, it took into account the thickness of your spoil board. So we'd come in here to the screen, we'd find out what the spoil board thickness was, we would write it down here because you would forget it. We would put this here so it would block the start button. Then we would go in and we would measure the tool. When we were done measuring the tool, we'd come back to this and look at this, go back and change the number. You can see where I'm going with this. There was a lot of steps in it. Change the number and then run a test on it. Well, once again, another phone call, and now they went in and they told it in the computer. They changed a 0 to a 1 somewhere deep in the system, and it says, hey, when you measure the tool, ignore the thickness of the spoil board. And so it took it from being 2 full pages to now you click on the button, you highlight the tool that you want to do, you hit start, and you hit the start button. It's greatly reduced the hassle and the opportunity for mistakes. In the past, we've measured the tool, forgot to change the spoil board thickness back, and then you go to run something and the 0 is at the level of the phenolic, and so it'll cut into your whole spoil board. So you don't want to do that. And then the other thing we did is we went to, let me see if I can get this show up here on the screen. On this system under utility, we can create smart buttons. And so we, panel offload, park right, the machine. And what we did is we got a couple of files. We cut up, when we have like a half a sheet of white, we will run garage cabinet shelves on it just to cut it up so that we don't have a whole bunch of material leaning on the wall over here. We take those and we cut them up into garage shelves and put them into inventory. Before, you would have to go in and find the program and the saved programs. We put it right here on a button, So now all we do is we double click that button and it'll run that program nice and simple and easy. And then not only that, but before we'd have to call them to have them help us make a button. And so let's see if I got it here. We built our own Gemba docs on how to build a custom utility screen, and also when we fill that up, how to create, there's a memory that'll basically the same thing, just in a different area. We went through every step so that we don't have to remember it, say, hey, let's add that to memory. We've got Gemba docs for that. So those are improvements today on the Anderson. Just little things help it run smoother and easier in our day-to-day production. A couple of quick 2-second improvements.